Hello again. We are back with another Optic update. Um, this is the 3.1. So there's basically improvements, and the big one, this update, is the update to the Blender plugin. Because so far it has only used the 0.6, so the earliest model, but we updated it so it now also supports the 2.0 model and then the agent. Let's just first go through the model updates and just anything that changed on the UI. And I guess the one big convenience update that has nothing to do with the models is that now you can permanently save canvases. So if you you can just come here and press the save button like that. And now you can come back to them anytime you want. And right now we have a quota of 10 gigs. We'll first just want to see how it goes. What's the quota usage? Can we pump it up and so on for the subscription? But it should be plenty of space for most image tasks because the image size is optimized, so there should be plenty of space. There's still significant update to the base model, so the V3 model that the agent uses. So I just want to walk through on the UI first, how that changed, and then we can jump into the plugin. And the first update we just did is to upgrade both text to image capabilities for the model and image edit quality. Like, for example, the sketch to realistic now should be even more realistic. So we can walk through a few examples just to see. Let's just actually start with the text to image, and then we'll look at some image examples. So for the sake of time, I'll just copy paste the prompt here. It's like a interior design sketch concept with like kind of orange glass on the dashboard. And one thing in Optic is if you don't even need to instruct the agent, like if you just throw in clearly a text description, you can just copy paste and run, and it will recognize, okay, you want to do a text image. Here we have a couple of examples from these. I probably like the lower ones the most. Before we select anything, I'll pick that one for now, and I'll do another frame here, and then I'll just ask it to do it again, just so we get some variance. Now we have a few more examples here. From these, you get a few ideas. Most of the time, anyway, when you're doing text to image, you're not like specifically picking the theme, but you're like, I like that base. Then you would sketch over it because rarely is the theme exactly what you wanted anyway. But here, for example, I would see the stereo would be like, oh, that like it looks funky now. Let me develop something on top of it and start sketching on it. One tip then also, if you started with a base like this, or if you have an interior sketch or exterior sketch that already has some, let's say, materials and so on, but you don't actually want it to be like that, before you go to like turn this sketch into a realistic photo of whatever, you can actually just ask it to take a step back essentially and turn it into line art. Because what that then allows is more freedom for the model to express the shading and the materials again in the input. So for example, if I don't necessarily want the glass to be this greenish tint, or that I don't want it to be glass at all, I could kind of just take a step back, remove all the medium from the image. So it's just like line art. And then we can do the step forwards. Now that there's no like bias from the input colors, materials, medium, and so. Here, let's take a look. I'll probably pick this one just because it's the least shaded. Now that I have this, now I'm like, okay, I want to now turn this from a sketch to a realistic. And again, in a real design process, you would anyway sketch over, and this would again help. Like if you don't want to do shading, you just turn it into line art, you sketch over this, do a new theme, remove any of the elements. You could just do it in lines. And once you have whatever theme you want to generate, or whatever theme you want to turn realistic and like visualize it more, then you have the final kind of line sketch. And then we can now go to the visualization part, which is I'll just type here, turn this sketch into a photo of a concept car interior And we can just say like interior in a car show, and then run that. Here, I don't necessarily like the materials, so let me just go back. And I think the agent is still assumes I want the materials from the original sketch, but I'll just say do it again, but make the interior black Alcantara. And from these, let's take a look at this one. That's pretty cool. We have the black Alcantara there. Maybe there's some features that were like, don't really like the way that looks. Mostly here, you have this like tubular features that we can try to in-paint and see if we can get something different there. So let's just try in-paint quick here. Let's make the brush a bit larger. Now, a subtle thing we added. So before you always had to select also the brush strokes when you do a selection, but it's a bit cumbersome because anyway, all the time you would want it to have in context. So the change we did is that you don't need to add it as selection as long as it's overlapping the image that you want to generate on. It will be like, okay, let me also select the brush strokes because that's relevant to the request. So now you don't need to select also the brush strokes. You can obviously, but either way is fine. And then just say in paint the green area. Like so, and just to show you, I ran it a couple of times. I first tried it with the V3 model, then I asked it to do Nano Banana. For some reason, it changed the aspect ratio, so I just said run it again, but maintain the aspect ratio. And now we have something where there's no gap there, and there's no like this pipe that was on our original sketch. Something, again, easier to change on the sketching side, but even if you're already at this stage, you can do that. Let's do this one. Again, you can go back to the line art since this is a shaded view, but since I already have the kind of color split that I would want on the rendering, I'll just use this as the base. And just to show you the improvements on just the sketch to realistic. So if I just take this and say, turn this sketch into a photo of a supercar park in front of an industrial garage. Here we go. We got a couple of different versions. We even got a kind of a rear view. That's actually pretty cool. We also have a couple of variants that's in the exact view that we wanted. And you can see now we get some nice reflections and so on, just based on our Photoshop sketch. Let's do this one just so I can show you the improved Generative Refine. So in the previous Generative Refine, which if you want to use it, you can still go to settings and do Optic Agent base model to 3.0, and then we'll switch back. But with the 3.1 update, the Generative Refine doesn't have that like noise pattern and color degrading as the previous Generative Refine. And something I also want to point out is that the reason why the upscale and Generative Refine are split is because the detail adding workflow is usually split two ways. Some people just want it to be upscaled and they don't really care. Okay, some like if you have an already realistic image, you don't need to worry about like generating the details here. You're just like, no, take this image and upscale it. That's why you would use upscale for. But if you have these kind of details that you can see that like it's wobbly and like the AI hasn't really figured that area out, you can use Generative Refine to try to essentially generate more details. And that's why on Generative Refine, the image will change because the model is actually generating on the image again, versus if you just want it to be upscale, then you do upscale 4K. And one thing also some people have asked is like if they want to use the pre V3 upscaler or the refine button that it was, you can just go to settings and switch to V2 for upscale version. And that acts exactly the same as the pre V3 refine button. It's confusing now that it's called upscaler, but even before it wasn't actually an upscaler because it would upscale it to 4K. But just to show you the improved Generative Refine, I'll run it here now. And now if you look at the details, you even have a shot line underneath the door. You have again shot lines there, you have more reflections, and you just have a higher resolution. Even I start to see some details on the wheels. And then obviously you could take it to the final resolution, which is to pump it up all the way to 4K. And so then you would do upscale here. But since this is anyway such a high resolution already, I don't need to necessarily upscale it. Another gray sketch from the past. I will again do the same as I did before, just turn this sketch. Here we have a couple of examples. I probably like this one the best. That's pretty nice. And again, here I'll show the updated generative refine. Here we go. And now it's even generating details for the lamps. You can see. Then we can also run upscale here. Now we have a very high resolution version of the rendering. And again, I'm just kind of speed running it here, so I'll also do a quick animation. Next, we can jump into the Blender plugin. So just a reminder for anyone wanting to install the plugin. So if you go to settings here, there's the Optic Blender plugin. You press download, you get the zip file. Then in Blender, if you go to edit, preferences, my preferences here, then install from disk, and then you open the zip file. Don't extract the zip file, just download it, install from disk, and you will see here Optic. Once you have that installed, let's open up a scene. So we have this scene here. So with the update, we want to bring all the functionality from the Optic web app into the plugin. So the V2, 2.0 model and the V3 with the agent. So the first thing here, you can just do new view on the tab, and we'll just place kind of a view that you want to use. Maybe we reduce the focal length like this, maybe even more actually. Let's do something like this. And then if you press D, you get this Optic menu. I can do overlays off like this. And then what we can do is, for example, I don't want to spend time building an environment. I already have a rough geometry of this sub-D model here. So we can just go here and say, place this car in front of a fancy villa. Use Nano Banana Pro. In this case, I'll use Nano Banana Pro just because it's really good at making a very photorealistic image. So it should be able to create like a pretty cool environment to kind of blend in the screenshot into this. And then we'll submit. Also, as you can see now, the loading status is at the bottom, and it's part of the viewport rather than being a text object. Here we go. And here's a point here. Like if you see that the image is more blown out than you would expect, it's most likely because the Blender scene itself, which is hard to tackle on our side, because if you bump up the brightness in the viewport of Blender, even the renderings that Optic does will also be blown out because you're globally changing the image. But if you want to see the original image, just go here and press view image. And then we can see the right color balance in the output. So here I just quickly reduce the exposure so we get the viewport to match closer to the actual image that we rendered. And next, something we already had in here, but like it's very useful with the improvements within painting on the agent mode and so on. So if you go to 2D editor, now you have the Blender brush tool here to do any changes you want. So we can go here, pick like, let's say the headlamp area, we'll want to redo this area here. And yeah, let's just try our headlamp design there quickly. Once you have that brushed, you can press exit. And then we can say in paint the green area over the headlamps. Here we go. And now we have an alternative headlamp design here. Let's just show it in the original form here. View image. So now we have a different headlamp design. Then something else you can do that can be useful. So if I clear this view here like this, and now we have an option to add reference images. So you can actually add, let's say, a scene that you want it to be placed. And so if I go open reference image here, it's like this platform on an overlook where you see like mountains in the background. Now we can say here, place this car into the scene in reference image 2, then submit. Here we go. The car is now in the scene. We can look at the original image. There we go. I think we can find a more appealing view. Let's go back and just get a better view for what we're going to do. Now let's do exactly the same. So let's press submit. Like this. That looks pretty cool. Let's look at the image. So view image. That's cool. That's pretty good. Now I think we just want to pump up the resolution since it's at the base generation resolution. So let's do Generative Refiner here. I upscaled it and refined it, so we get much more detail. Even some texturing. Just using the Generative Refine and upscale, which is handy when you're just working at low res and then you just quickly want to do some details. And those work very well for that. Then I haven't showed you yet, but obviously you can go to manual gen and use the 2.0 model. We already have a prompt here. We can just do like a different iteration of the design. Again, manual gen doesn't have the intelligence to be like go from a sketch to a rendering or go from this screenshot to a photograph or something. It will just do based on the prompt and the settings you run here. So I'll just show you here. If I run like 0.6, shape control 0.5, style blend, all good. Maybe we can bump up style blend all the way to 1 to get more conceptual output. Inspiration image, obviously you can add one here if you want. But yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I just want to show you that you see that the 2.0 is there as well. So yeah, here we have an alternative design. Let's look at the big one. Like, yeah, if you want to just play around with themes, just generate a bunch of ideas, you can go to 2.0. Based on the settings, you can just let the model rip, and yeah. Let's do one more view just for the heck of it. So let's do a wheel close-up. Turn this catch screenshot into a photo of a concept car wheel at a motor show. We go. Let's remove the reference image. We don't need that. Generate. Here we go. We got a nice rendering out of it. Then so I'll just upscale it here quickly. Now we have a nice upscaled version in glorious 4K. And so yeah, that's the latest update. You see any behavior with the updates that we can improve on, just send us a message. Like, we try to be very fast with any sort of like critical issues you guys might have. So just, yeah, please let us know. We're super responsive with any of the issues. So we hope you guys enjoy the update, and I'll see you guys in the next one.